So we're going to do this by making a quick diagram of our bulletin board. And we know that the area is 55 square feet. The length is 4 feet less than 3 times the width. We've got two variables that we need, two dimensions we don't know. So since we're comparing to the width, we're going to let that one be x. So let the x be the width. And on the diagram here, I'm going to let this be the width. That means the length is 4 feet less than 3 times the width. So 3 times the width means 3 times x, and we want 4 feet less. So there's my expression for length. So I have area equals length times width. We know the area is 55 square feet. We know the length is 3x minus 4, and the width is x. I am going to distribute the x into the bracket here, and I get 55 equals 3x squared minus 4x. Now this is a quadratic equation, so I'm going to subtract 55 from both sides so that I can use my factoring skills. This is a messy trinomial, and there are no common factors, and the numbers are quite large. So I'm going to take 3 and 55 and multiply those together. So 3 times negative 55 equals 165. And I ask myself what multiplies to give me 165. And try a bit of trial and error, and hopefully you'll see that 11 times 15 gives me 165, and I want a negative 165, so one of these has to be negative, and they have to add to give me negative 4. So that means that negative 15 times positive 11. So negative 15 plus 11 is also negative 4 from here. So moving on, that means I break up the negative 4x into two terms, the minus 15x plus the 11x minus 55. I'm going to group these now. So the first grouping means I factor out a 3x, and I'm left with x minus 5. And in the second grouping, I'm going to factor out a positive 11. And again, I'm left with x minus 5. That's great news because these are the same, which means I've done my work correctly. And I'm going to combine these. The x minus 5 is common, and 3x plus 11 is the second factor. Solving both of these individually, I get x minus 5 equals 0, so x equals 5. And the second answer, 3x plus 11 equals 0, so x equals, I subtract the 11 and divide by 3. And then I evaluate, does this make sense? This is a negative number. Does a negative number make sense for the width of a bulletin board? No, it doesn't. So x equals 5 is the only answer that makes sense. So if x is 5, then the width is 5, and the length must be 3 times x minus 4, or 3 times 5 minus 4, which is 15 minus 4, which is 11. So the length is 11 and the width is 5.